Naked and Afraid Apocalypse Episode 2 is a wild, emotional, and physically punishing ride that shows just how brutal this new season's post-apocalyptic setting really is. The episode picks up with the 12 survivalists split into teams, each trying to carve out a safe space in a landscape that looks like the end of the world. The terrain is scorched, water is scarce, and the wildlife is as dangerous as ever. But as tough as the environment is, it's the human drama, clashing personalities, team breakdowns, and the toll of exhaustion that really takes center stage in this episode. The episode opens with Wes, Miranda, and Steve exploring their surroundings, immediately struck by the sense of death and decay. The group is on edge, and it's clear that every step could bring danger, whether it's from wild animals or the harsh elements. They're hoping to find tools or supplies left behind by previous survivors, but instead, they're greeted by ominous signs, abandoned camps, animal tracks, and the ever-present threat of predators. Wes sums it up perfectly. I feel like I'm starting this challenge at the absolute end of the world. Meanwhile, the other teams are facing their own struggles. Steve, Alexa, and Frank manage to scavenge enough materials to build a fortified shelter, or boma, and even score a small food win by catching some fish. But they know it's not enough to last 35 days, and the pressure to find more protein sources is mounting. The African heat is relentless, and every calorie counts. The team's spirits are lifted by their small victory, but the reality of the challenge quickly sets back in. Russell, Waz, and Teal are also feeling the strain. Russell is struggling with the heat and lack of nutrients, and it's clear he's not pulling his weight. Waz and Teal are forced to shoulder more of the workload, and frustration starts to build. The team tries various fishing techniques, using everything from mosquito nets to makeshift traps, but success is limited. The heat is draining and Russell's energy is fading fast. He's determined to redeem himself after being eliminated early in a previous challenge, but the environment is unforgiving. Amber, Joe, and Kel are having a tough time as well. They set up a temporary camp near a water source, but the location makes them feel like bait in a metal tube. The team scavenges materials from a nearby hunting lodge to build a more permanent shelter, but tensions quickly rise. Communication breaks down, and Amber finds herself caught between Joe and Kel, who just can't seem to get along. The stress of the challenge, combined with the relentless heat and physical exhaustion, pushes everyone to their limits. As the episode progresses, the teams face a series of escalating challenges. The heat becomes unbearable, thorns and barbed wire tear at their skin, and the constant threat of predators keeps everyone on edge. The search for food and water dominates every decision, and the smallest setback can feel like a disaster. When Russell is bitten by a snake, it's a stark reminder of how quickly things can go wrong. He's determined to push through, but his body is clearly struggling. One of the most dramatic moments comes when Amber gets a thorn in her eye. The pain is immediate and intense, and she's forced to call for a medic. The team tries to rinse her eye and keep her comfortable, but the injury quickly becomes infected. Amber's vision is blurred, her eye is swollen and draining, and she's in constant pain. Despite her determination to stay in the challenge, it becomes clear that her injury is serious. The medic warns that if the infection spreads, or if there's debris lodged behind her eye, she could face permanent vision loss. Meanwhile, the team dynamics continue to unravel. Kel and Joe's personalities clash, and despite Amber's attempts to broker peace, the tension only gets worse. Kel ultimately decides that she can't stay with the team and asks Amber to help her find a new group. The two set out on a grueling trek across the scorched landscape, battling dehydration, heat exhaustion, and the ever-present danger of venomous snakes and scorpions. The journey is brutal, but they eventually reach another camp, where Kel is welcomed by Wes, Miranda, and Steve. Back at the original camp, Joe is left alone, reflecting on the breakdown of his team. He's determined to keep going and focuses on building a safe and secure shelter for Amber's return. The emotional toll of losing two partners in one day is heavy, but Joe channels his energy into survival, determined not to let the challenge defeat him. As the episode nears its end, the physical and emotional toll of the challenge becomes overwhelming. Russell, who has been struggling since the beginning, suffers a panic attack and is forced to tap out. The medics assess his condition and determine that he's stable, but he knows he can't continue. The decision is heartbreaking, but it's a stark reminder of how dangerous and demanding the challenge really is. Waz and Teal are left to carry on without him, knowing that every loss makes their own survival even harder. Amber's journey is equally harrowing. After escorting Kel to her new team, she makes the long trek back to Joe, her injured eye throbbing with pain. By the time she arrives, her condition has worsened, and she's forced to call for a medic again. The medical team determines that the risk of permanent damage is too great, and Amber is pulled from the challenge for emergency treatment. The decision is devastating for both Amber and Joe, who are left to grapple with the reality of losing another teammate. The episode ends on a somber note, with Amber receiving antibiotics and a cornea scan at a local hospital. Fortunately, there's no permanent damage, and she's transported back to the States for further treatment. But the emotional scars remain, and the remaining survivalists are left to face the next 30 days in an environment that seems determined to break them. Throughout the episode, the harshness of the post-apocalyptic setting is ever present. The landscape is unforgiving, resources are scarce, and every decision carries life or death consequences. The survivalists are pushed to their physical and emotional limits, and the bonds between teammates are tested like never before. The episode is a powerful reminder that survival isn't just about strength or skill. It's about resilience, adaptability, and the ability to work together under the most extreme conditions. The ending of episode 2 leaves viewers with a sense of uncertainty and anticipation. With multiple medical evacuations, team shakeups, and the constant threat of injury or illness, it's clear that no one is safe. The challenge is far from over, and the remaining survivalists will have to dig deep if they want to make it to the end. The episode sets the stage for even more drama, danger, and unexpected twists in the episodes to come. In summary, Naked and Afraid Apocalypse Episode 2 is a gripping, intense, and emotionally charged installment that showcases the true difficulty of surviving in a post-apocalyptic world. The combination of brutal environmental challenges, team drama, and medical emergencies makes for compelling television. And the episode's ending leaves viewers eager to see what happens next. Whether you're a longtime fan of the series or a newcomer to the Naked and Afraid universe, this episode is a must-watch for anyone who loves survival stories, real human drama, and the thrill of the unknown.